Hey everyone, so we are back again with another reading, and this one is all about, are you ever going to be with them? So are you ever going to be in a relationship with your person? Are you guys ever going to end up together at any point in time? So this is a great reading for those of you guys who may be in separation from your person for whatever reason, for those of you guys who might have a crush or have had a breakup, or even if you're just asking about your soulmate or twin flame, even if you haven't met them on this astral plane yet. So with that being said, today we have a beautiful selection of sushi for you guys to choose from. And if at any point you feel yourself drawn to a certain pile, you can feel free to skip ahead to that timestamp at any point. So with that being said, I'm going to show you guys each piece up close as well as the numbers first. So this one is pile number 1. Then we have pile number 2, number 3, and number 4. So I'm going to show you guys up close first. So this is pile number 1. Okay. Then we have pile number 2. Then we have pile number 3. This one is shrimp. And finally, we have pile number 4. This one is like an egg roll thing with some seaweed on top, wrapping it together. So if you guys need any more time to decide, you can feel free to rewind, pause, or take as much time as you need to make up your mind, but we are going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey pile 1, so if you guys picked this piece of sushi, this is going to be your reading. This one, I'm not sure what kind of sushi it is, so if you guys know, you can let me know in the comments. But they did a lot of amazing detail on this, and there's so much detail on the rice on the bottom as well, so they really knocked it out of the park all around. I'm sure whatever it is, it's delicious, dipped in some soy sauce with some wasabi. I think I thought I knew more about sushi before I started filming these, and then I realized like I'm kind of clueless about some of them, but if you guys know, you can tell me in the comments. I'm sure it's good either way. Let's get into your cards, guys. So you guys got the 3 of Swords, the High Priestess, the Knight of Cups, the Tower, 10 of Swords, and Queen of Swords. So with the High Priestess coming through right off the bat, I feel like this is probably a mental connection or a connection on the astral plane where you feel very connected to this person. They're probably pretty charming because I feel like they're coming in as the Knight of Cups and someone that you feel very drawn to, but it may be a situation where you might not have ever met them, or if you did meet them, you didn't have that kind of romantic discussion. Maybe you guys communicated with all these swords cards, but it was more like professional or more non-romantic in nature, the communication. But I could also see a situation where there's no communication at all, and this is just a connection on the astral plane where you feel very drawn to them. But in terms of establishing that serious romantic relationship, it has not happened. I feel like with the Tower card and the 10 of Swords and the 3 of Swords, this may have been a heartbreak relationship that caused you pain, or it's going to, where you might not have the kind of outcome that you guys want. It feels like with the Queen of Swords, you do think about this person a lot and you guys are highly intelligent, but it may be a connection that is more never going to come out the way you want, because with the Tower, that can talk about endings and realizations of things that need to change, and like hard changes, like kind of, it can be almost a difficult ending, not necessarily the smoothest. So I feel like for some of you guys, this may be a connection that doesn't turn into a relationship in the way you guys would like. But I see that you guys get a lot from the, like, you've learned a lot from this connection, or you've grown a lot. I feel like Spirit is also calling to let you guys know that you're highly intelligent with the Queen of Swords. And I feel like you guys might be a little bit of the Knight of Cups yourselves as well. Maybe you guys are really charming and quite charismatic to others, and it's something you're not aware of. And maybe this is kind of like a fantasy for you. Like, let me focus on this person, and it kind of takes you away from your daily realities in your daily life, and it's a escapism, you know, because the Knight of Cups can be kind of that type of energy. I always think of the Knight of Cups as kind of like that hero from a romance novel that will sweep you off your feet. So it could even be like a fictional character, or, you know, a celebrity, or someone that is just kind of in a very different realm of possibility. But I feel that, and you know, sometimes some of you guys might date a celebrity. I mean, anything is possible in this world, right? So never let anyone tell you that, like, oh, you could never do that. You never know what could happen. But I'm leaning towards, in this situation, that you might move on from this and you might want to date someone else, or you might have a different relationship that comes to fruition. But it feels like there's a lot of mental activity on your part towards this person. With the Three of Swords, with all the Swords cards coming out, you're thinking of them a lot. And again, I feel like you guys are highly intelligent, and it's almost like Spirit is telling me, like, if you were to direct this kind of energy you have towards them towards other projects in your life, you guys would be absolutely on fire and just unstoppable, because you guys are so smart. I'm almost feeling like some of you guys may have written fan fiction or something, or like just thought elaborate scenarios about this person, or like really thought about them very deeply. And it's kind of flattering. Like, I feel like for some of you guys, if this person knew that you think about them like this, they would be so flattered, like anyone would be. And it's like, wow, you guys love so deeply. And when you guys direct that and find that with the right person, it's going to be so amazing and so incredible. And you guys are going to just, it's going to be like the most giving relationship on your end, because you guys are so good at making people feel loved and so good at appreciating them on such a deep level. And I feel like maybe this person doesn't appreciate it, or just can't receive it for whatever reason. Maybe they don't even know you, or maybe they just are wrapped up in their own world. But I'm feeling like a lot of them are oblivious to the depth of your feelings for them, or how much you think about them. And so I feel like for some of you guys, this may not coalesce in the real world, but you are getting a lot from this relationship, and there's a lot of personal growth happening on your end. And some of that is like lessons learned from this situation, or that this person has taught you in some way. So let's get more cards. So we got spiritual maturity, chivalry reversed, worthiness reversed, and sexuality reversed. So all the cards came out reversed, and I did double check the deck and it was upright, so they all flew out reversed. And I think that says a lot about this relationship possibly being blocked. And it's like, in a way, they're saying you don't see your own worthiness. And I feel like with chivalry reverse, this person has not approached you in like a chivalrous way of like being super respectful and like sweeping you off your feet. It's almost like you may have imagined that, or you might, you know, again, it's like you guys see the best in this person. You kind of look at them with rose-colored glasses. And I feel like it's like, that's an amazing skill set to have in an actual relationship, when you're with someone and you just see them with such a lens of love, and everything they do you love and you appreciate, and you see the beauty in it. That's such a great relationship skill, and I think that that is going to come in handy for you guys when you're in a relationship. Like, it's just going to, you're going to be that person that just always is rooting for your partner, always seeing the best in them, always cheering them on no matter what they do. But it's like this relationship for you may not be that outlet. You know, it's like you're pouring your love into something that may not be the best vessel for it. You know what I mean? Like, it may be that they just, it feels like they're very oblivious. Like, I feel like a lot of you guys, this person doesn't even know. Either they don't know you, or they don't, if they do know you, they don't know your feelings. So I feel like Spirit is saying, in a way, maybe for some of you guys, this has been kind of like an outlet for sexuality a little bit, where maybe you know, fantasize about this person from afar, and it's kind of something that allows your sexuality to kind of grow in like a safe zone, but you're not ready for that full sexual like experience with them. Maybe you have self-consciousness about yourself in some way, because again, with worthiness reverse, it's like you might not see yourself as fully worthy of full love. Like, you might find yourself getting into relationships where you more imagine about someone and they're from a distance, because it's safer to look at someone from a distance than it is to really get your emotions involved and really have that one-on-one close relationship. And, you know, all sex and everything that comes with that. So I feel like it may be something that you're deliberately putting up a little bit of a block with, or deliberately kind of staying out of it, because maybe you pick this person because they're kind of unattainable. It kind of feels like they're unattainable. Like I feel like they're kind of up on a pedestal or something. And it's like you direct all this love towards them that I feel like Spirit is saying they would love to see you direct it towards yourself. And they would love to see you take that attitude of seeing the best in someone, and like, why don't you look that way about yourselves, towards yourselves? Like I feel like some of you guys have body image issues and you're self-conscious about different areas on your body, and you're like, oh, I don't want this person to see me like that. So in a way, it's safer for you to lust after this person, because it really just feels like they're unattainable. Like it feels like it's not a possibility to get close to them for whatever reason. It feels like they're just like off limits. And again, with spiritual maturity coming up and that being reversed, I feel like there is growth happening in this relationship that will bring you to a more spiritually mature place and help you kind of develop yourself. So it's not like it's a total loss. There's things to be gleaned and taken from this relationship or connection, but I don't know if that's going to be an actual relationship or not. So let's get more cards, guys. So we got in the hand, reversed, Sky Dancer, surrender, Whale Song, resonating, empty well, time to replenish, and Horned Cactus, resourcefulness. So with Whale Song resonating, I feel like your connection, again, it's mostly on the astral plane. So I feel like you might dream of this person, or you guys just might have a connection where you think of them a lot, they're in your head a lot, and maybe you guys connect up there, and maybe their higher self is aware of you on the astral plane. Because I often think, even if it is like a public figure, we're drawn to certain people just because maybe there's something we can learn from it, right? There's something we can take away from that relationship, even if it's not a relationship with them or whatever, but maybe it's just like a lesson, like, oh, okay, like they did this right and I can do the same thing, or they're kind of different in this way, and so it's okay for me to be different, or whatever. So I think that maybe you guys have a connection up there, but it feels like it's more in your head than the reality. It feels like you guys aren't like actively talking. Maybe some of you guys are, but that's just how it feels to me, that it's like you think of all these ideas of things you would like to say to them, or you think of all these things that you would say to them, tell them, and everything you guys would do together, and it doesn't happen in the reality. I feel like with empty well, it's saying this is a bit of an empty well, and the thing is, you have so much love to pour into a relationship, and it feels like this is just not the right vessel. Like this is just, it's just not it. There's not receptivity on their part, almost like it's like they're not either ready for a relationship or capable of a relationship. And it's like, I feel like with Sky Dancer surrender, it's saying it's okay to surrender to this a little bit and admit that this just maybe isn't working for you. Also with Horned Cactus, I feel like it's like almost like they have a shell of protection around them, because this cactus, it is very protective. Cactuses are protective. They have all those little prickly, whatever they're called, thorns, or I don't know what they're called. But I spent some time in the desert, and like, I love the desert, but I mean, sometimes you'd like go hiking through an area and get some cactus prickle things on you, and I guess they're called needles, right? Cactus needles on you, and oh my god, they're hard to get out of your clothes. They really hurt, and so you learn not to approach those cactuses. And I almost feel like your person has some walls up themselves, maybe out of necessity. Again, if it's a public figures have to like be careful about who they let in and whatnot. Or if it's someone in your life, it feels like they're maybe just not ready for a relationship. Maybe they are just a little bit closed off to this, or maybe they're already in another relationship or something. It just doesn't feel like they have the openness and the receptivity to make a relationship work to me. Like it just feels like there's like a barrier, things are blocked, things are not open and ready for business, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just getting the vibe that it's kind of a closed wall type of situation. So let's get some more cards for you guys. So we got love reversed, fear reversed, envy, doubt reversed, and service reversed. So interestingly, again, a lot of reversals, even though this deck was upright. So I think that, with love reverse, it is saying, I don't think this relationship, I could be wrong. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Maybe for some of you guys, this person's just closed off, but, maybe you guys will end up together one day. But I really feel like it just doesn't feel like fertile ground. I always think that's, it's a good kind of impression we get as readers of like, oh, this is fertile ground that you can plant a seed upon and it'll work out and it'll be okay here and things are going to work out well, or just kind of dry like desert where you don't want to try to plant a seed. And that's kind of how it feels. um I feel like for some of you guys, it's almost like you look up to this person or you feel that they're better than you in some way. You might even be a little envious of certain qualities, and it may be a message from spirit of like, look at what qualities they have and see how you can bring that out in your life. Maybe you're thinking about this person a lot because, they're very attractive and you're like, I wish I was that attractive. But it's like, well, are you really not that attractive? Maybe you are, and maybe you just don't see that in yourself. Or maybe you don't do things to feel attractive. Maybe you never dress up and you never go out of your way to make yourself feel good, and you don't look at yourself in the mirror and gas yourself up. That's a part of feeling attractive, is radiating that energy of like, oh, I feel beautiful, Venus energy. And so maybe there's things you can do to kind of be like this person in a way. Like I feel like for some of you guys, maybe you're unpopular and this person's popular and you're like wishing you could be like them in that sense. And then it's like, okay, so then figure out a way to be more sociable or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's things you could learn from this situation or learn from this person, that it's almost like you're not fully in love with them. You're wanting certain things they have, or you admire certain things they have, and that's totally cool. And that can be a compass towards us of like, okay, I should head in that direction. Maybe it's just like, you feel lonely and they have a big group of friends and you wish that you had a big group of friends, but then it's like, well, find ways to cultivate friendships or to make yourself just not feel lonely. Like, you can enjoy spending time with yourself, or find some hobbies that interest you, or turn your life into something that's really fun. Because I feel like it's like almost, again, fear coming out. It may be that you have this fear of entering the real world, or you have this fear of really getting your heart broken, and you have this fear of putting yourself out there. So you kind of stay focused on this relationship because there's not so much of a huge chance of it working out. And so you don't really have to risk them like actually coming up to you and being like, hey, I want to take you on a date. Get yourself ready. Let's go out, because it's just probably not going to happen, right? So you aren't like, there's like a fear of putting your heart at risk and fully going all in. Because when you're really in a relationship, it's like, it's scary, right? Like that person can break your heart. The more you know them, the more you care, and your emotions get intertwined and your chakras get intertwined. And so sometimes I think people hold themselves back from those real relationships and seek out kind of not fake ones, but like ones that don't demand as much from them, I guess, if that makes sense. And a hawk just literally flew right overhead and stared in my window, which is crazy and an indication of psychic things. So I feel like that's like a message that they definitely want to emphasize. It's like, look into your life and see what you can, bring out from yourself that will emulate whatever you really admire in this person. Because I feel like there's a lot there that you guys are just looking in at them and kind of wishing you could be more like them, wishing you had their qualities. And it's like, well, you can have their qualities, we can always change and grow and mature, and you guys got spiritual maturity, so maybe that's something you're on the path for. So let's get some cards from this deck, Halloween Tarot deck, about pile one. Oh, why I hate when these cards all fly out together, but okay, they'll kind of resonate. So we got Skull of Darkness, Blind Spots, Mummy Change, the Lamp, Remembrance, and we got Winter, the Sacredness of Pausing. So for me with Winter, I told you guys this is kind of barren ground or whatever I said, and that's what is coming to mind, is like you can't plant seeds in the winter. The ground is frozen. And I just watched this documentary on Arctic permafrost. So that's what's coming to mind, because I didn't know or understand permafrost that much, but then they were saying it can go miles into the ground, and basically the ground is frozen, and it means that like you can't really do anything with the ground. You definitely can't plant in it because it's literally frozen. Like the ground can be frozen if it gets cold enough for long enough, and it can go so deep down into the ground. So anyway, it was about Arctic sinkholes, really interesting, but so what's coming to mind is like this is not like an open field for you to be planting in that will result in like this beautiful flowers blooming. This is just kind of middle of winter energy where, you know, things are kind of frozen over, dried up, and it's not blooming with like possibility, you know what I mean? And with the lamp remembrance being reversed, it may be that you're remembering things from this person and replaying them over and over in your head, and spirit might be saying like this person's changed anyway and they're not the same person. And you're, you know, sometimes when we have these memories, they can become like rose colored glasses and we see them through this lens of how we were at that time in our lives, when the reality is they're not even the same person, and we might not even tolerate them anymore. Like I noticed for me a few times when I've, you know, maybe I had a small falling out with someone that was like a small thing. And then it's like one of us, you know, hits the other up a few years later and wants to reconnect. And I'll be like, yeah, let's get lunch or something. And we go out and meet. And almost always I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally understand why. No offense to that person, but I'm like, okay, this relationship, I don't feel the same way about them. Like their jokes maybe don't hit me the same way, or it's not that I like hate them now, but that relationship that I left in the past, I see now that it was totally for a reason. Even if at the time it felt like a misunderstanding, or I was like, maybe I was too harsh with that person, or maybe I misunderstood what they were doing. It's like now that I'm older, I have even less tolerance for it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, no, this person, I'm good. And I think that for you guys, this is something where, you know, it may be okay for you to leave this person in the past, because now I feel like if you were to interact with them, for those of you guys who this is an ex or someone you're in separation for, you'd be like, oh, hell no, you would not like this energy at all. So I feel like for you guys, it's like spirit's saying like be open to change, be open to not seeing them with blind spots, because for some of you guys you're really seeing the best in this person. You're trying to see them with, like I said in the beginning, rose colored glasses, and you're not seeing them accurately. And if this is like a public figure, because I feel like for some of you guys it may be, I feel like, yeah, there may be things you don't know about this person, or just they're different than their image. It's not even like they're hiding some darkness, but maybe they're just different than how like you perceive them in the media, you know. Maybe they act a certain way for the media, but like in person, you know, maybe they act goofy but they're really serious in person, and they kind of do that because that's their job or something, you know what I mean? And it's like you guys might not vibe if you were actually one-on-one together and you were actually like stuck in a room and had to make conversation. You might be like, oh wow, I don't know, this person and our energies don't vibe like I thought they would. So I would say this is just, you know, take what you can from this relationship, because I feel like there's a lot to learn, but I don't think this is like heck yes, like go for this relationship. So let's get some astro dice. So we got Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, the moon, and we got the 6th house ruled by Virgo. So the moon can talk about, like especially in tarot, delusion or not seeing things clearly, which we've kind of talked about. So you may be having this blocked from you. And also the moon rules emotions. And I feel like for some of you guys, this is like an outlet from for your emotions. Like when you get overwhelmed or stressed or depressed, you think about this person. You think about, you know, they kind of cheer you up to think about them and to have these little fantasies about them. And it's like, you guys can, no, you don't have to direct these fantasies towards them. You know what I mean? You can direct these fantasies towards, what do you want to build in your life? What do you want to bring in? What do you want to improve about yourself that would make you happy? If you're like, wow, this person's so successful, it'd be so great to be with someone who's so successful, like turn yourself into that success. If it's like, I love how many, this person has so much social status, and if I was with them, everyone would think I was cool too. Well, then make yourself cool. Like, you know what I mean? Find what you're good at and lean into that. And that just makes a person cool anyway. Or, you know, I wish I was like as funny and charming as this person, and they always have a quick wit. Well, you guys got Queen of Swords, so I'm sure you have a quick wit too, and you can find a way to make those social things come easier for you, you know, if that's something you're insecure about. But I feel like it's like this is an outlet for your emotions sometimes, or when you get upset or stressed, you think about them, and Spirit is saying, you know, there's this doesn't have to be the outlet for that. Like there's other ways to kind of manage your emotions. And so with the sixth house, that is ruled by Virgo. And, you know, Virgo is a perfectionist for sure. Virgo is also a healer, a giver. But one downfall about Virgo and why it's debilitated in Venus is it can see a lot of flaws, and it can be prone to kind of being a little nitpicky about like, oh my gosh, that person's turtleneck was slightly untucked and so I can't be into them anymore. And that's kind of the joke. Like obviously that's exaggerated and put in a jokey way, and probably most Virgos wouldn't actually do that, but it's the joke of like Virgo Venus as being like very picky, and that's why it's debilitated there. And I almost feel like you guys apply that to yourselves. Like I feel like when it comes to you and your self-love, you guys tend to see your flaws. You guys tend to look very closely at yourselves and harshly at yourselves, and kind of see like, oh, I'm bad at this, I'm bad at that, I need to improve this. And Spirit's like, what if you looked at yourselves with so much love, you know, and you looked at yourselves and saw yourselves the way you see this person? Because I feel like you really give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm seeing someone who will almost make, like, they could do anything. They could like rob a bank, and you would be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, I'm sure they needed to do that. They needed the money, and it's really not their fault. Like, you guys just always see the best in them. And it's like, what if you directed that energy towards yourself? You're so self-critical towards yourself, but you give this person so much leeway. And I would like to see you guys direct this energy back to you and see yourself with rose-colored glasses, and see yourselves with all the beauty that you guys really carry. And with Sagittarius, that is ruled by Jupiter. And Sagittarius and Jupiter and the ninth house really relate to philosophy, learning, travel. I almost feel like it's like, again, Spirit is saying they want you guys to be more involved in life. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and it's so that sign that is always down to go on a trip or to try something new or like do something kind of chaotic. You know, Sages are very chaotic, but that's why we love them. And I feel like they're just very involved in the world. Like all fire signs, they don't tend to get in their heads. They're kind of the opposite of Virgo energy. They're very just bold and like going with anything and unafraid. And it's almost like some of you guys might have some fears that are causing you not to be fully invested in this world, and causing you to kind of overinvest in this relationship that even if it's not for you. And so it's like, I would love to see you guys enter into Sagittarius energy and be like, you know what, screw it, I don't care, I'm going on this trip, or try something crazy that just, I want to see you guys immersed in life. Because I'm seeing someone like dipping their toes into a pool, and it's like, I want you guys to do a cannonball into life and just enjoy and just appreciate things and dive into these relationships. Because I feel like some of y'all, you keep yourself kind of hidden away from the world, and you just spend time thinking about this person, and it's kind of escapist. It's kind of Neptunian. As much as I love my Pisces, you know, the bad side of Neptune is being an escape artist and just being lost in the fog and in the mist and just kind of not seeing clearly because, you know, you don't really want to acknowledge something. And so this is about seeing fully clearly and being like, I need to change this, this, and this, and I'm going to do it, and going into it enthusiastically and welcoming in whatever changes you need to make wholeheartedly. So let me get also some final cards for you guys from this deck and see what you guys need to know. Pile 1, animals. Okay. Will they ever be with their person? Will they ever be with this person? Travel. Okay, so a lot of travel energy coming through for you guys. I mentioned Sagittarius rules travel. It's like, what if you guys were involved more in the world? You know what I mean? What if you guys were to put yourself out there and go to like a foreign country? You know what I mean? And just explore. So we got healing, forgiveness, boundaries, finding, truth, animals, travel. So I feel like a lot of these cards are about, you know, leaving this behind a little bit, healing, forgiveness, like just putting up some boundaries maybe on the astral plane, being like, I'm not going to let myself ruminate about this person. I'm not going to let my thoughts run away from me and just listen to sad songs and just drift off into like Neptune world of like, and Neptune is the astral plane. So you can be connected to someone on the astral plane and it still can be unhealthy, even if it's accurate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to describe this, but in the real world, how someone concretely behaves and how they step up for you and how they show up for you in your life, that really matters a lot. And so even if this person does have feelings for you, if they're not stepping up, if they are not coming towards you strongly, then that's just a no. Even if it's because, I don't know, they have some dysfunction or they have trust issues or they have insecurities of their own. Okay, fine. But, you need someone who's going to show up for you in life, right? And you need someone who loves you and treats you with the amount of respect and kindness that you see this person with. So I feel like you need to find someone like that. And I would love to see you guys travel, or if that's not in the financial cards, just being more involved in life. Maybe getting involved in like a local community or a group or something where you're actually living. Like, what does Matthew McConaughey say? He always says living, Livin, living. So it's like, I want to see you guys living with a capital L and actually exploring and experiencing and fully being immersed and seeing things with truth and not self-delusion or not imagining something as more than it is, but actually like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to have the best meal of my life and I'm going to hit up that restaurant, even if I have to go alone and eat by myself. And maybe you'll meet someone or maybe something beautiful and amazing will happen. But it's like, we were put on this planet to live, not to be sequestered away and just by ourselves. We were put in this planet to go out and get our heart broken and heal it and have amazing life and have amazing food and have amazing sex and have, all these human experiences. So I want to see you guys fully living and invested. And yeah, I would say it's a no for this relationship, but there's so many other beautiful things in store for you guys. So I really hope it resonated. Pile one, let me know if it did in the comments. And if it did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up as well. And if you guys want to check out my Patreon, I have other videos and readings posted over there. So you can find a lot over there. So definitely check that out if you want to join us over there. I am sending you guys so much love and light. I hope you all have an amazing day and take care of yourselves, guys. And I will see you next time. Bye. Hey, pile two. So if you guys picked this piece of sushi, this is going to be your reading. You can see it has this little orange spot right underneath, a lot of detail on this. I'm thinking it might be eel, but it could totally be something else. If you guys know what it is, definitely let me know in the comments. I think I thought I knew more about sushi than I realize now that I did know, having all these random sushi pieces. So if you guys know, let me know. But let's get right into your cards. So we got the Eight of Pentacles, Four of Wands, King of Cups reverse, Knight of Wands, Two of Swords, Page of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, and finally the Eight of Cups. So I feel like with your person, first of all, they seem like a charmer. I feel like with the Knight of Wands, they are someone who has a lot of enthusiasm and kind of an achiever type of personality. I also feel like you guys might have a mental connection. You guys might be interested in the same kind of subjects, or both of you guys are very kind of mentally curious. I'm hearing mentally restless. Like maybe you guys have a lot of information that you guys process. Like you guys are both interested in, a certain type of subject, or you guys both like read a certain newspaper or watch certain types of YouTube videos, or you're just both very, I feel like, curious, intellectual types. You know what I mean? You have a lot of thoughts and opinions, and you're just a very kind of mentally open type of person that wants to know a lot about the world. And I feel like that's a major commonality that is drawing you to this person. I do feel like some of you guys could end up with them. With the Four of Wands coming through, that can totally represent marriage, definitely a celebratory moment. But I almost feel like for some of you guys, this is something that might take work to draw you guys together. With the Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, I'm feeling like like for some of you guys, maybe it would take one of you guys reaching some level of wealth in order to bring you guys together. So maybe you guys are at different socioeconomic levels, they have a lot of wealth or something like that, or you might have a lot of wealth, and that is a factor keeping you guys separate for right now. It may be that maybe, you know, you would have to come up to a different kind of social group in order to be with them, or maybe they would have to do that with you. But I just feel that there are certain factors that it's like it's not ready right now. Like you guys can head towards it. And I feel like there's a lot of energy here to build to where if you were to manifest some money or they were to manifest some money, whatever side of the equation this is, you guys could come together. And actually, I feel like you guys would get along really well and could form a really great union. But it's like there's work that needs to be done in the meantime, with the first card being the Eight of Pentacles. It's like it's not quite ready yet. It's kind of like it's still cooking. I'm seeing a pot on the stove like bubbling with, you know, sauce, and it's got some spices in it, but it's not quite ready. It needs a few more hours to cook for all the like different ingredients to meld and the different tastes to meld, and so it needs a little more time. It's not quite ready yet, but I do feel like there could come a point where you guys can definitely join each other. I feel like if you guys were to really have some kind of one-on-one time together, that you guys would really get along, and it feels like it's open. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like a sure thing in either direction. And we did get the Two of Swords, which can talk about, you know, different factors, different options, and making a choice. So it's like it could go either way. You can see in this card that it's literally a forked road heading off in two different directions. So it's kind of like it could go either way. For some of you guys, I feel like you really could put the work in to kind of build yourself and meet this person at their level. I almost feel like, though, I'm getting that this person might be under a lot of pressure or something, or they might, with the King of Cups reversed, maybe they're not in the best emotional state, or maybe you're not, and it's like something that would affect this relationship somehow. Although I get that they are so charming with the Knight of Wands. They're definitely a charmer, like I said, and they're definitely someone that I feel, you know, not like a smooth talker, because it's not like they are disingenuous or dishonest, but they kind of know what to say. I feel like they're just a charming person, even if they're not trying to. Like they seem almost like one of those people that would always have a joke or something funny going on, and just seem like lovable. Like a lot of people may be drawn to this person, but I feel that they may have a lot of pressure that they're under, and it may be a situation where they're constantly having to deal with these stresses behind the scenes that you might not be aware of. Like you might just see the side of them that is so charming and so funny and so like pleasant to be around, but you don't realize that for them it's kind of difficult. They're going through a lot of different difficulties, and so I feel like if you guys were to link up and join up, that you could help this person a lot, but also they need to work through some of this stuff themselves. So you might actually be like, you know what, this isn't what I thought it was. And the Two of Swords can talk about that as well, about misperceiving a situation. And you might even decide like, I knew I wanted this so bad, but I'm actually leaving it behind, because the Eight of Cups can talk about that. Like, I really wanted this, but you know, it's not as good as I thought it was. It feels like you guys, though, would get along. Like you guys, I feel, are similar in some ways, or you have a good vibe together. Like I feel like when you guys talk, the conversation is just popping. Like it's quick moving. Both of you guys are kind of like, I want to say smart, or have a lot of the same interests, or there's like an intellectual vibe in common. You're both very curious. So let's get more cards. So we got the Sacred Woman reversed, Distorted Feminine, Dating reversed, and Yin and Yang. So it's almost like you guys might need to be going through some growth with the Distorted Feminine, and then the Sacred Woman reverse. It's like you might not be in your energy yet to be able to date this person. I feel like for some of you guys, it's literally a level of being on different levels. Like, I don't know what this is, but maybe this person is in an elevated position somehow, or has more money, or has a lot of esteem in the community or something. And it feels like just you can't quite come together right yet, because I feel like it's almost like in order to access this person, there would have to be time and building of something. Like something is in the process of coalescing, you know what I mean? Something in the process of coming together so you guys can be on the same level or something like that. So for right now, it feels like maybe dating isn't an option, but with yin and yang, I do feel like you guys feel drawn together and you guys would be good kind of counterparts. Like there's a masculine feminine balance here. There is, you know, that yin yang puzzle pieces fitting together kind of vibe. So again, it's like if you guys could unite and be together, I feel like the vibe would be awesome. You guys would get along super well and it would be a lot of fun together because again, I'm seeing people laughing. I feel like there's curiosity on both sides. A lot of you guys might share again specific interests or, you know, conversations you guys would have. I feel like you guys would just be on the same page. Like they would be like, oh, did you know this dinosaur fact? And you'd be like, oh, actually I do, and I also know, did you know this? And you know, it would just be like a vibe. I mean, I know nothing about dinosaurs, so I couldn't be in this conversation, but I feel like some of y'all, you're just very smart about different areas, and that would really come to play in this relationship. Like both of you guys would be contributing a lot and just vibing off of each other. So I do feel like with dating reversed, if you guys did get together for some reason, I feel like it would become quick. Like it would quickly turn into a relationship. It would almost bypass the dating stage for some reason. Like I don't know if this person isn't a big dater or something about their circumstances doesn't allow them to date a lot, but it feels like it would go from 0 to 60, or there wouldn't be that initial stage of like, you know, okay, I'm going out on a date with this person and it's kind of awkward and we don't know what to talk about, and you know, oh, like I don't know if I like that restaurant, or like you know those awkward nerves and like the first few dates where you're kind of figuring out and you don't know where each other stand. Like it just seems like it's bypassing that stage for whatever reason, or maybe you guys would have to meet up in private or something like that. It doesn't feel like you guys are going out to restaurants and like going on these big public dates. It feels like everything's very private, I guess. So yeah. So we also got the farther gate, bold step forward, drifter, experiencing life as it comes, me talks, repairing the body, mind, spirit, deep quiet, meditation and stillness, jeweled web, connectivity, and wailing tree, reconciliations, both reversed. So it would definitely be a big change in your life. And I feel like there would need to be some serendipity for you guys to come together. Like it feels like if you guys were to end up together, that things would need to, like I said, things are being built in your life and things would need to change. So something that you're currently working on building would align you more on the path to being with this person. And maybe it's not ready right now. And we did get me talks, repairing the body, mind, spirit. And we did get these cards reversed, divine feminine, or the sacred woman reversed, distorted feminine upright. So it may be that you guys are fixing and building and working through trauma. Maybe king of cups reversed is you. Maybe you guys have a hard time managing some emotions or dealing with depression, and you're going to be leveling up so that by the time you unite with this person, that you will be capable of kind of meeting them at their level. I do feel like, you know, with the Sacred Woman reversed, I also want to mention to you guys that with that card, what's also coming to mind is that if your person was to meet you or be with you or see you again right now, they would find you very beautiful, very attractive. Like they would find you just like their type. You know what I mean? Their idea of beauty, whatever it is, would be you. So if you guys are in separation from this person, I feel like that would be something that they would be all in. It feels like there are circumstances though that are more the issue here. It's not that they're not attracted to you. It's not that they are like, oh, I'm not sure about this person. They're kind of not my type. They actually are they would be into you, but it feels like they have a lot of stuff going on in their life and that those factors may keep you guys apart for right now. And I don't know what this is, but it's something about you guys building. And then also being open, because I feel like if it does come in, it would come in the form of a surprise, with drifter experiencing life as it comes and jeweled web connectivity reverse. I'm feeling like a lot of you guys aren't super connected to this person in terms of having a social group that's connected to them. Like it doesn't feel like you guys are in the same friend group and they're on the periphery, or you know a lot of mutuals. It feels like this person and you are kind of in two separate worlds or two separate friend groups, or there's not a lot of connection. There's not a lot lot of reasons for you guys to be brought together. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like, oh, well, this person's hosting a party and he also knows her. So maybe he'll show up, and then he shows up there. And, or like, you know, my friend Amanda knows him. And so, you know, Amanda invites us all for a night out and he's there at the same party, or we go to the same school and we're in the same club, and so we all show up to the same club at the same time or something. I don't know, it just feels like there's not there's not the same group, if that makes sense. You're in different groups. I don't know. And so it feels like if you guys were to come together, it would be like out of the blue. It would be like a random happening, like, you know, you bump into the person at a store, or randomly, maybe they don't even live in your same town or your same city or even your same country, I don't know. And, you know, randomly they're in town and they bump into you or something, or they come across your social media, or they are, you know, it feels like there would be some kind of a happenstance. Because again, if you guys know this person and are connected to them, it feels like they're very busy with their lives. They have a lot on their plate, to be honest. They have a lot that they're dealing with that's kind of emotionally overwhelming. So it's like they don't have as much time, like I said, to be dating or to be sliding in the DMs. So it feels like it would have to be spirit and fate bringing you guys together, but spirit has a way of doing that if it's right. So it could be. I just feel like it's kind of like the odds are against y'all, but that never stopped spirit before. It could happen. So yeah, I'm not sure about this. I'm getting this pile could go either way. So we got forgiveness, courage, gratitude, guilt, and acceptance. So really interesting cards here. So it would take some courage for you guys to end up together. I feel like you guys are taking this bold step forward and this courageous move into this new life that may somehow bring you into alignment with this person. Like if you guys are maybe thinking of contacting that person, for some of you guys that may work out, because I feel like, again, they would really like you if they could be in contact with you, if they could see you and be around you. I feel like they would be like you know, they would be like, wow, this person's really attractive. Again, I keep getting very attracted to you. But I just don't know, because again, there's a lot of factors. It's like, this is like, I want to say 1 in a million, but it's like, hey, there's someone that wins the lottery every time. And those chances are like, what, 1 in like a billion or something? I don't know, what, probably not 1 in a billion, but like 1 in, I don't know, a few 100 million. So, you know, there's someone that wins the Powerball every time. I love the show My Lottery Dream Home, because they always show the lottery winners, and it's so nice to see like people that were broke and then they have money, and it's just like, that's how spirit works. Sometimes it comes in when you least expect it. So I feel like this definitely could happen, but there's a lot of growth going on with you. There's a lot of things happening with you that you're leveling yourself up. Your person is working on themselves as well. So both of you guys are kind of doing this separate work, and then spirit might bring you guys together at the right moment, but it feels like it's not right now, and it would be at some point in the future. So my video just cut out, which is so annoying when that happens. But anyway, let's get back into it, guys. We got movement, Dragon's Lair reversed, come together, Peaks of Joy reversed, and talisman. So this is where it kind of gets interesting, because come together is a super romantic card for this deck. It's probably one of the most romantic cards in the whole deck. And I feel like with movement, again, you guys are both working on yourselves, but you might be headed together. You guys may be both separate now, but it feels like both of you guys are respectively working on things that could bring you guys together. Both of you guys feel busy. Both of you guys feel really engaged in your life, as if you guys are dealing with a lot and working on yourselves a lot. And maybe you are currently in this Dragon's Lair, or maybe they are, and you're trying to come out of it. And it feels like it may be hard work right now, but it feels like you guys may unite in the future. And I feel like if you guys ended up kind of in the right area, in the same, you know, the same situation, I feel like it would be on really fast. I feel like this person would be super drawn to you, but the problem is I'm getting the vibe that a lot of you guys, you know, don't go out a ton. You're not the type to go out into a nightclub and, you know, just be meeting 30 or 40 people a night and like socializing all the time. It just feels like both of you guys are kind of I want to say like introvert vibes, or both of you guys would rather spend kind of a quiet night in type of vibe. So you're not going to be that person that's out fraternizing and socializing and meeting 40 people. You're that type of person that's a lot more selective with who you're around. So that can make it harder for Spirit to bring people together. But I feel like Spirit, they might do that. Again, with the Two of Swords, this could go either way. And I feel like it's almost like the odds are stacked against you, but that's never stopped Spirit before. Spirit has a way of making amazing miracles happen. And I feel like you guys may end up together, because with Talisman, this is a card that is really interesting, and it talks about, being on this path, but following the talisman and letting the talisman guide you to the right direction. And so it's like, even though you guys may seem separate now, and it may be like, well, how are they going to come together? Maybe you guys, again, you're just not the type to both be out dating around and meeting a ton of people and socializing. So people are like, oh, they're not going to find an opportunity to meet up. But Spirit may have other things in plan. And so, Spirit, when they want to bring two people together, they can move mountains. And so you guys might have these random meeting or this random meetup. And what's interesting also is, to me, that kind of looks like an Aquarius symbol on the bottom of that rock right there, like kind of a hidden Aquarius symbol, which is really standing out to me. It never stood out to me before. And, we are getting strong kind of Aquarius vibes with this person, because I feel like Aquarius is a very intellectual sign. It is an air sign. It's also very outside the box. And I feel like you or your person may have Aquarius, but it feels like this person kind of marches to the beat of their own drum, and like is very unique and is not a crowd follower type of person. And it feels like you're that way as well, and also highly intellectual, because like Mercury does really well in Aquarius, because Aquarius tends to be kind of a curious, intellectual type of personality, I guess. And it feels like you and your person, again, you're both kind of doing your own thing right now. You're not afraid of being a little different for right now, but it feels like in the future you guys may unite. Also about Aquarius is that it kind of relates to, large groups of people, the world in general, and also to technology and stuff. So I feel like this person, maybe they would see you through your social media, or maybe you would see them through their social media or something, or maybe, they might stumble across it, or if you guys already follow each other, that might be some kind of a factor in this relationship, or a way for you guys to keep connected, because it feels like there's a lot of distance. I don't know if you guys don't live in the same town or whatever, but it feels like there's times when you guys are both unable to just spend like hours and hours and days together, just hold up with each other. It feels like there's sometimes reasons why you guys have to be separate. So I feel like if you guys, again, were to come together, there may be a lot of factors against you, but you guys are also drawn so closely to each other. So let's get some more cards. So we got Dawn, the light after the darkness, Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes, Werewolf, exploring wildness, and Hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. So again, if you guys were together, I feel like you guys would be that homebody couple that really likes to spend time inside. I could see you guys like reading together, or watching documentaries together, or, I don't know, consuming art together or something. It just seems like there's a very deep intellectual component, and that you guys kind of prefer to be together rather than with crowds. You guys really enjoy spending time one-on-one, and a lot of your interests sync up. So if they're like, hey, I want to watch this documentary on like aliens, you're not going to be like, oh, I hate that. You're going to be like, heck yeah, I love those kinds of documentaries. Like, you guys just have that in common. There's a lot of intellectual connection between you guys. And I feel like with Dawn, the light after the darkness, and Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes, again, a lot of self-growth happening right now. I'm not saying this is your darkness era, or that you guys are going to have to burn everything until there's ashes in your life, but it feels like you guys right now are just not ready. Like, you're not fully in your full light. You're not fully glowed up to the level you will be glowed up by the time this person is enabled to come into your life. Again, some of you guys may unite with this person, and some of you guys may may not. But I feel like the point is, if you guys were to really have one-on-one time with this person would be very drawn to you, and you guys may have this really vibrant, deep intellectual connection that would draw you guys together. Also with werewolf exploring wildness, I do want to mention that this person is super sexually attracted to you. That's coming through really, really strong. So it feels like, you know, not only do they find you beautiful and kind of just like they can appreciate your beauty in an intellectual way, but there's also a lot of like lower chakra action going on where they are very sexually into you. They find you to be very sexually their type and hot and have kinds of fantasies about you. So if you're like, would they like me or do they like me? It's like definitely a yes. That part of the connection is not, you know, up for debate. It just feels like there's other factors that are more the stumbling block between you guys, and it more has to do with circumstance, the stuff this person is dealing with. Because again, with the King of Cups reversed, I feel like they have a lot on their plate that they're just dealing with emotionally. They might just have a really busy schedule, be feeling overworked, or they have a lot to deal with, but it feels like they're dealing with a lot of that stuff right now that, you know, it's emotionally hard for them, to be honest. And so I feel that that's more the stuff that's holding you guys back. And then you, it feels like, are also doing a lot of personal growth work. So that seems to be kind of the issue or the barrier, not would they be attracted to you or do you guys have a connection, because that's a definite yes. So if spirit can make this happen, it feels like, you know, things happen fast. There's not that kind of stodgy dating period where nothing's moving forward and you're kind of like, I don't know, I'm unsure about this person, but it feels like they just, you and them both know, and right away things pick up and move fast. And we're going into this hearth energy because I feel like neither one of you guys are like serial daters that just go around and just date whoever and just, you know, don't really care that much about the person. It feels like when you find someone you really like, it's like rare and you're so ready to move that into something more serious. So let's spin the astro dice and see what the astro dice have to say as far as astrological factors for you guys. So we got Leo, we got the 12th house, and then we got Uranus, which doesn't surprise me one bit because I've been mentioning to you guys that there is so much Aquarius energy coming through this pile. You guys both have this thinking outside of the box type of mentality. Neither of you guys are conformists. I feel like both of you guys march to the beat of your own drum and really do your own thing. You are not worried about if people don't approve of you, or you're not worried about fitting into the crowd. But in a weird way, I feel like that sometimes gets a lot of attention for both of you, where both of you guys might have a lot of people that respect you or think what you're doing is cool. And partially that's because it's so authentic. You're not just doing it to fit in or to appease to someone or to make people think you're cool. And so because of how genuine it is, people just automatically think it's cool. Uranus and Aquarius is also kind of the planet of like weirdness, and it feels like you guys have a lot of the same kind of weird interests, like unique interests that like no one else would be into, and people might be like, huh, like why are you guys spending your date watching documentaries about like wars in Britain in the medieval era? Like that's not very romantic, but you guys get along and you guys are on that same tip. So there's a lot in common. Also with the 12th house, I feel like you guys both might be very creative, and you might have a connection on the astral plane because the 12th house is related to Pisces and Neptune, and it is related to psychic abilities in the astral plane. So maybe you guys do connect up there, and maybe, you know, maybe you guys have a little bit of a connection with your higher self that's kind of drawing you together, even though it feels like you guys are both very separate and kind of working on different things. And then we got Leo. So Leo relates to the 5th house, which is kind of like our things that bring us joy, a lot of artistic interests as well. It also relates to children, but it feels like, again, it makes sense because both of you guys are kind of focused on yourself right now. Both of you guys are working on certain interests and building things, and it feels like at the right moment, that's when your guides would align you guys to come together, but not, you guys aren't supposed to come together at the wrong time when you guys are both separately, you know, focused on other things. So I do feel that this is very fertile ground for a relationship, but maybe right now you're just not supposed to be in union right at this moment. But let's get some more cards. And some final cards for pile 2 about whether or not they will be in a relationship with their person. Will they be in a relationship with this person? So we got talents. Okay, that's also related to the 5th house. Well-being, protection, animals. So I do feel like, again, you guys are kind of in transformation. Yeah, that's so much of what's going on right now is like personal growth, maybe in your career. Maybe you guys are working to make your career glow up so that when you come into alignment with this person, that you will be able to kind of come correct for them. You won't be like, it won't be like a completely lopsided relationship where they are, you know, in a way better position than you are. And so it's just, I think there's a lot of self-growth happening. I feel like you guys are working on yourself. But yeah, you guys definitely could be together and come into alignment, I think. If this self-growth happens, if you guys are able to make some of these manifestations happen, it feels like you guys could get aligned and end up together. And with travel coming through, maybe you might travel with this person, or maybe they're from a different part of the world. Yeah, it's very interesting because I feel like you guys have a lot in common. And something that I was mentioning for the other, I'm not sure where I saw it. Oh, it was on the talisman. Is there's a yin yang here. Since I had to refilm this because my camera just dropped out, so annoying. But we got the yin yang here as well, and so I know that's connected to Eastern Asian cultures. Maybe you guys have a connection to some of those cultures in Eastern Asia, or maybe you guys are from Eastern Asia yourselves, or you guys both have an interest in that. I don't know, it's just something that came up because this yin yang symbol is just really popping up a lot in this reading, and that really is a symbol of the divine feminine and masculine coming together in balance, and how they both bring super important things into the connection and into the world. And so it feels like this would be a divine connection. If you guys could link up, this would be very beautiful. That's a really powerful, beautiful spiritual symbol. So it feels like there's a lot there that would be very sacred, very beautiful. But right now you're working and you're growing, and that's good. And that's exactly what you should be doing, and focus on yourself. And it feels like either way, by the end of this growth period, you will be aligned with a much higher vibrational level of person. Whether you end up with this specific person or not, it may be someone else very similar to them. You know, it may be someone that's a lot like them, but not quite them. But I do feel like some of you guys could end up with this person. So with the 2 of Swords coming out, it feels like they're not giving me a for sure. It's still up in the air, but it could. It definitely could. And you should know that this person would be so attracted to you. Again, very sexually drawn to you as well. Like, they would think you're really hot and spicy, but also very beautiful. So it's interesting. They have like a respectful attitude towards you, where they're like, they're very beautiful. And they're kind of appreciating your facial beauty, but they're also like, and heck yeah, I can't wait to get them in bed. So it's like this balance between having that sexual interest, but combined with also like this respect for how you look. So, you know, it feels like there's a lot here that would be the whole package in a relationship and really be a beautiful connection for you guys. So I say, you know, this is the one you have to let up to spirit. But if you guys did meet up, it would be a thumbs up. So anyway, I hope it resonated. Pile 2, let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing your thoughts and feelings and everything from you guys. And also, if you want to check out my Patreon, I post a ton of videos over there. So you can check that out and leave this. I don't know if I mentioned that. I might be repeating myself. But leave this video a thumbs up if you guys haven't already. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed over here as well. And I'll be back soon for another reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you guys picked this shrimp sushi, this is going to be your reading. They did a ton of detail on this. It looks super realistic with the rice as well. You can see they did each little grain, and they just really knocked this out of the park. It really looks like something you could truly find in a sushi restaurant. So super good job on that. But let's get right into your cards, guys. So you guys got the Knight of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, Temperance, Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 6 of Cups, 8 of Wands, and finally the 4 of Swords. So I feel like with the 4 of Swords, some of you guys might dream of your person. You guys may think of them a lot when you meditate. They might come up. 6 of Cups can be a lot of remembrance and memories that come up. So it feels like a lot of you guys do connect with this person on the astral plane. Maybe they might bring music to mind that reminds you of this person. Maybe some of you guys are even up late at night, sleepless nights, thinking about them. I do feel like you guys do have this deep connection, and I feel that, you know, you guys may be reunited, but I can also see that there's a lot of sadness in this with the Eight of Swords coming through. Maybe a feeling of like this isn't going to work out, or maybe some betrayal even with the Five of Swords. I feel like it feels that you guys have put some effort into this, and maybe it's not worked out the way you guys expected with all the sword cards. It's almost like Knight of Pentacles being reversed. You know, I put the energy in, I put the work in, and why isn't it panning out? Or maybe it feels like it is going to work out, but it's like, it feels like kind of like balls in the air, you know, like you have tried and you've put something out there. And so I feel like with Temperance coming through, it may be asking for a little patience, and maybe saying this is taking time to kind of, you know, work out. I want to say alchemize, but I don't know if that's the word. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but you know, an alchemist transforms different substances into gold. So that takes time, and it feels like this situation is being worked on. So yeah, let me get into some other cards, because we got a lot of interesting cards for you guys. So we got the Divine Feminine, then we got Soulmates, then we got Intimacy, and then we got Sexual Freedom. So when I first started reading the tarot, I was like, this seems pretty negative, but then we got a lot of really romantic cards like Soulmates, and we got Intimacy as well, Sexual Freedom. Maybe you guys have had a sexual connection with this person for some of you, or, you know, the sex was really good or something, I don't know, but it feels like there is that sexual kind of cord connecting you guys. Maybe you're just very sexually drawn to this person and you have a crush, but yeah, there is an aspect of a lot of sorrow to this relationship, but then we got a lot of soulmate energy. So sometimes soulmates aren't supposed to be united in this dimension. Sometimes they're supposed to come in to teach someone a lesson or to remind them of their worth, because when the soulmate sees them through their eyes with such love, it can really transform how they view themselves, how a person views themselves. So I feel like, you know, maybe that's what's at play here, but I'm torn between the answer, because I see some sorrow, I see some pain. It feels like if you guys are in separation from this person, or it's a crush, it's one that is not pleasant. It's not something that, you know, is like a happy relationship that you think about and kind of like makes you feel good. It's like, ooh, this is painful. Like whatever this is, it's like, it doesn't feel good to be separated from them. Like you do want to be united with them, and you do want to be in union with them. But I do feel like, yeah, you guys have this deep connection, to be honest, or you would. Maybe some of you guys, maybe you haven't even met this person, I don't know, but it's like you're connected on the astral plane, and there is maybe a past life connection. You guys may have known each other in that other dimension, but I can feel the sorrow, the hardship, and the pain, and I don't know if it's going to be able to be worked through. The connection is there, the love is there, but I'm like, okay, how is this going to manifest in the real world? You know, with the Knight of Pentacles being reversed, it's like, is this capable of taking shape in this reality? You know what I mean? Is there the ability to get this work done and to like get the responsibilities done and, you know, deal with like the day-to-day arguments and the day-to-day fights? I don't know. The connection is there though. The connection and the feelings are there. And if you guys were in union, like it would be a very deep feeling for each other, a very lot of emotion and love and intention and all of those things, feelings towards each other. So yeah, and it feels like almost like if you guys did try to break up with the Four of Swords, that you guys do dream of each other, you do think of each other. It's not just like, okay, bye, we're broken up, see ya, and I'm done and I'm moving on. Like it is a lot holding you to this person, you know, you are connected to them on a deep, deep level. And there is a lot of kind of temperance, like patience energy, like waiting energy coming through. So I don't know if you're waiting for this person or they're waiting for you, but I feel like your guides are saying like, It's not quite over yet, but we're going to pull more cards though. So we also got Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life, Unmarked Trail, Revelation, Moon, Maiden, New Beginnings, Repairing the Veil, Forgiveness, and Caterpillar, Opportunity. Maybe for some of you guys, you had like a falling out or something. I don't know, because with forgiveness coming through and some of the vibes here, I'm like, was there a big falling out or some painful ending? Because it doesn't feel just like, again, there's pain, there's sadness, or if, you know, again, it could be a crush, but just like a crush that's really intense and where you're like, wow, it's so sad to be separated from this person. And you're not just like, oh, that's my crush. You know, sometimes the good thing about a crush is it makes you feel excited. It makes you look forward to seeing the person. But this doesn't feel like a happy crush. It feels like there's a lot of yearning, that it's kind of painful to be separated from this person. Sometimes that happens with soulmates. They're like, okay, I didn't even really talk to this person. Why am I so drawn to them? And it's because, like, yeah, you didn't talk to them in this realm, but in the other realm, y'all were chatting and you know each other really well and you've had other connections. And so it feels painful to be separated from them because you have this deep connection that goes beyond this world. So that could be at play as well. It feels like meeting this person or becoming aware of them was like a revelation. Like I'm feeling like this really was a transformative moment for your life. It changed your opinion of yourself. It brought you new beginnings somehow. Like maybe you didn't view yourself as beautiful as you are, but you sense how this person views you. And it's like, wow, I feel so loved when I view myself through their eyes, and you know that they do care deeply about you. And so it's like that brings so much healing energy to you. And helps you guys see yourselves the way Spirit sees you, and with the beauty and love and Venus energy that you exude. But now you're aware of it. Now you're woken up to that fact and not just believing this lie that like the media teaches us that like, oh, you don't look that good, or like you need to fix this about yourself. Now you're like, oh my God, I'm gorgeous and I'm special. And that's a beautiful thing. If that came in the form of this relationship, then that's a gift. That's a gift from Spirit to bring you guys together. And again, sometimes soulmates come into each other's lives to teach each other a lesson, and then as soon as that lesson's learned, they're out, they bounce, and that's that, because that was the point of it, and that goal was satisfied, so there's no need to stay anymore. So it feels like you gain a lot from this connection, but I don't know if y'all are going to end up together. I don't know if you guys are going to be the end game for each other. Like I feel like this may have been temporary, but I don't know. You know, I'm getting more than one message for you guys. Maybe some of you guys are going to end up together, and maybe there is this kind of happy ending that will happen where you move through the Swords energy, and then you guys come to a place of healing and growth where you guys have been through the pain and transcended it, and now you can really come together maturely with each other. It does feel like a lot of this is divinely guided. Like your guides are guiding you down this trail. You may feel like you're just lost, because you know the thing about an unmarked trail is it's not marked. So it's not like a paved trail through the woods where you're like, okay, I know I'm going in the right direction. I once got lost on this really crazy hike in Virginia in the mountains, and I got completely lost. And anyway, it ended up a hike that was supposed to take like an hour and a half. It took like 3 or 4 hours. My phone died. I was so scared. And so by the time I got back, I was like terrified, because there's no way, like it's surprisingly difficult to go through the woods without a trail. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I don't know if I'm going in the right way. It's so easy to get lost. Like I'm an experienced hiker, but I was like petrified that I was not going to end up, back in time before nightfall and everything. So, my point is sometimes when we are going through those woods, and I did, and everything was fine. But when you're going through those woods and you're like, there's no trail, that is like the most terrifying moment. But don't worry, because you guys are being guided. You guys are going to end up at the right place for you. I just don't know whether that's together or separate, but either way, this is an opportunity moment. It is a time for growth from this relationship. Spirit is saying that these lessons that you've learned from this relationship or from this connection, whatever it is, whether you're drawn to this person for whatever reason, maybe you don't even know them, maybe you just have had a crush on them from afar, there is something you're supposed to take away from this person that is going to teach you growth about yourself and make you see the value in yourself, make you see how perfect and beautiful you are. So something about this person was brought into your life to make you wake up and realize that, because some of you guys have struggled with low self-esteem, feeling bad about yourselves, not stepping into your power, being afraid of your power and reducing yourself. Maybe in order to fit into your family, you had to reduce yourselves. Sometimes when we have, kind of narcissistic parents, or just parents that may not be as enlightened and have a scarcity mindset, and they think we have to bring ourselves down to fit into this world. Like, well, you're never going to get a job if you have that attitude, or you're never going to keep a job if you always are trying to work on your music or something. Or you have to be aware that like people like you are a dime a dozen, so you better keep your attitude in check when you go to your job and not speak up and be so loud like you've been being, or something like that. Like, there can be people that try to drum into this the idea of you're not that special, even if they have good intentions, but you are that special and you can achieve whatever you want. And I feel like this person was brought into your life to make you realize that, how incredibly beautiful you are, and that you guys have the opportunity to make whatever new beginning you want and whatever kind of life you want. So there's so many valuable lessons that you're learning from this connection with this person. Let's get more cards though and figure out if you guys are going to end up together. So we got patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Self-esteem. That one's reversed. It says, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason, and relationships, I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So this is where I'm starting to feel like, yes, you guys will end up together, because with patience coming through, relationships coming through, friendship coming through, it feels almost like a relationship where there is a period of separation or a period of darkness and hardship, and like you guys aren't together the whole time, but you guys do find the courage to unite and come back together. And with self-esteem reversed, that's kind of what I'm talking about. There may be something in you that doesn't have the self-esteem that's blocking from this connection, because spirit will not align you with the right person when you're not aligned with yourself, with the good energy yourself. You have to align yourself with like positive energy, expecting the best, because otherwise it'll be a toxic, dysfunctional relationship. When someone's in like so much pain, sometimes they think like, oh, this person will heal me, but the reality is that it'll probably just cause toxicity for everyone involved, because it's not really a fair balance for one person to be like just this healer for the other, and the other person's a mess. Like, yeah, you can heal through relationships, as I was mentioning, but we also have to try as much as we can to align ourselves with our highest version of ourselves, right? Our best version of ourselves, our most mature, most aligned, happiest, and most calm, and just the best high vibrational version of ourselves. And I feel like you guys are working on that right now. And that's maybe sometimes why spirit will bring a relationship in that doesn't work out at first, is because it's kind of like dangling a carrot in front of a horse, right? Like when you see that there's like, I don't know, they do this in cartoons and stuff. I don't know if they do it in real life, but they will take like a little stick and put it on the back of a horse and have it dangle the carrot. And then the horse is like walking towards the carrot, trying to eat the carrot. And of course it never reaches it. But the point is to get the horse headed in the right direction. And that's kind of like what they did with you guys, is like, they're like, see, you want this kind of person? Okay, you got to go over here. You got to fix this. You got to get that self-esteem pumped up. And so they're trying to help you guys grow, to make you guys, fix yourselves, because that's really the journey that's the most important, is our journey to ourselves, our journey with our soul, and with aligning with our best version of ourselves in this lifetime. And I turned on my light so you guys could see better now. But yeah, so this is a connection that I feel like has helped you guys grow a lot, but you guys very well might be aligned with actually meeting up with this person and being united in a union. I feel like it will take some patience and maybe some courage as well of stepping out of your comfort zone. But maybe after all this self-growth happens, you guys will be able to be aligned with each other and actually make this relationship happen in this real world and in this dimension, because I feels like even though you guys connect on the astral plane, there is this yearning to make it happen in this dimension. But there's a lot of growth that would have to take place first. So there is pain in this connection no matter what, whether you guys end up separate or together. There is this period of painful growth and separation for sure. But if you guys work through that, it feels like there is this solid foundation for a relationship where it would be built off friendship. You guys might have the same interests or similar vibes, or you guys might even share a friend group or something, but it feels like almost like you guys would be friends first and then also lovers on top of it. So there's so much beauty in this relationship. So let's get more cards for you guys. So we also got Ride the Wave, Commitment, Sacred Pool, Field of Dreams, and Spark reversed. So with Ride the Wave tempered with, or combined with Tempered can work, but combined with temperance and also combined with patience, I feel like they are saying that it's like this might take time. This is not something that is just gonna work out really quick and be super easy. This is something that might take a minute to coalesce and to come together. And I do feel like a lot of that is a growth on your part and maybe your person's part as well. You guys might both be working on either side of this equation to make yourselves better so you can come, and unite in this commitment. But it feels like whatever this is, it's helping you grow with Field of Dreams. So, I feel like with Sacred Pool, your connection is definitely up there on the astral plane. You guys probably do dream about each other, think about each other, or maybe it's a one-sided equation. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. But there is a connection on the astral plane, I feel. So maybe songs come up that remind you of this person, or songs you guys shared, or maybe you're just like have dreams of them or a lot of thoughts of them. But there is this connection. It almost feels like some of you guys feel abandoned by this person or something with spark reversed, or maybe you felt like they weren't attracted to you, or maybe you're worried that they won't be if you ever meet them. But it's like they definitely do have this sexual attraction to you with sexuality coming through, but maybe they're burdened by something in their life and they can't come through right now. I do feel like both of you guys on either side of this commitment are dealing with your own ish. Like it's not necessarily streamlined for either one. So, yeah, there's a lot of growth happening, and so whether you guys will end up together, I think it's kind of up to you. Like if you guys can make this growth happen, like yes, you could definitely end up together. If you guys get hung up on this sword energy, the painfulness of it, you might not. You might go on separate journeys. But let's get more cards. Spirit, can you tell us, will pile 3 end up with their person? Will pile 3 end up with their person? We got Skull of Darkness, blind spots. Maybe you have blind spots towards this person. Will pile 3 end up with their person? Will pile 3 end up with their person? Will they be in a relationship with their person? Skeleton strength, apple, risk and reward. I'm almost Spirit asking, how much are you willing to risk? Like how much are you willing to put yourself out there? How much are you willing to go for something? This deck is so hard to shuffle, to be honest. So we got Graveyard, Unnecessary Fear, and Jack-o'-lantern, Protection. So it feels like Spirit is saying, yeah, like kind of like it's up to you. Like I feel like there may be something where you guys need to put yourselves out there in order for this to happen, because the energy feels a little stagnant right now. Like I would guess that y'all haven't talked in a minute, or there's some kind of a stalemate. Maybe y'all last time you talked there was an argument or something, I don't know. But it feels like someone's gonna have to conjure up some braveness and be like, you know what, I'm putting myself out there, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna ask. But it's like, don't be afraid of like, what if I'm not ending up with this person? Oh my God, what if I'm in separation from them? It's like, well, then that's supposed to be what happens, and then that's okay. Know that you are being divinely guided, and that you don't have to have this kind of pinned on Disney ending to make it a beautiful relationship or to take something from it. Some of the best love stories of all time are tragedies. My favorites, a lot of them are tragedies. So it's like, don't feel like, it's going to be a total loss or a total wash if you're not with this person, because there's so much I feel like that you guys have gained from this relationship with skeleton strength. Like you guys have become a lot stronger because of this, is what they're telling me. And sometimes your person can be difficult, I'm feeling, with blind spots. Like I feel like you guys have this connection where you guys get along really well on the astral plane, but like in this world, you guys might like bicker or disagree or have like lack of commonalities or something. And it's like, if that's the case, then listen to that, because you do want to have like just an easy life, right? We don't want to be bickering with our loved one. I mean, maybe you do, but like if I'm on like a Caribbean vacation with my loved one, I don't want to be like arguing about what kind of room service we should get, or arguing because one person like left the AC on overnight and the other person, doesn't sleep that. Like I don't want to be having like petty arguments. I want to be with a relationship that's aligned, where we, things flow, and if disagreements pop up, that we're able to work through them, productively. But I don't know if I would want to just be bickering like in this kind of energy, because this just feels like kind of pointless arguments or something, like nitpicky energy. So yeah, let me get some astro dice for you guys. We get astro dice for whether pile 3 will end up with this person. Okay, so we got Neptune, we got Aries, and then we got the 4th house. So Aries is all about independence. It is related to the first house in the zodiac wheel. And I feel like, maybe this is about an independent journey. Maybe this is about the self, because, whenever you see Aries in someone's chart, it is a sign that they're supposed to focus on themselves to a certain extent. Like if you have a north node in the first house or a north node in Aries, that's saying like, focus on you. Don't be giving so much to others, that an important part of your journey is that self journey. And so it's like they want to remind you that, maybe you get so obsessed with this person that you lose sight of the number one priority in your life, you, right? You matter. You are important. And I feel like your guides want to remind you of that, how much you make a difference in things. It's almost like sometimes you guys become so focused on this other person that you kind of stop focusing on yourself, and you feel so bereft that you guys are in separation, where maybe that's for a reason. Maybe you're supposed to be working on yourself. You're the one who matters the most, right? So your guides are mostly concerned with you, not with this other person. And it's like, if you're not supposed to be aligned with this person, don't be afraid of that, because I think that either way, you're going to take so much from this connection, and there's a lot of growth happening. I would lean more towards you being independent during this and not necessarily you guys linking up, but let's get some astrodites and find out more info. So Spirit, can you give us some astrodites for this situation? So we got the third house, and we got Scorpio, and we got Saturn. So that makes a ton of sense. Saturn is the planet of hardship, among other things, but that's one of the main things it kind of represents to astrologers. And this is definitely, like I said, a lot of hardship here, a lot of hard lessons, and a difficult journey that isn't just this easy flowing relationship. And like I said, sometimes you guys might want that easy flowing relationship. You might not want to have to work so hard. So with Scorpio in there, that is really a card that really loves to unite so deeply with someone and know everything about them. And especially Venus in Scorpio is not the best placement. It's actually one of the kind of not considered a great placement for it. It's not the worst, but it's not great, because Venus in Scorpio can be kind of obsessive, can be kind of like, I want everything in you. I don't want any distance at all. Like, I want every part of you. And sometimes it's like, it's okay for there to be a little bit of space. It's okay for there to be a little bit of a distance. We don't have to know every single thing about each other and be so united. And it's like, I feel like, again, the reminder from Spirit is like, if you don't end up with this person, it's okay, but with the third house coming in, that's the house of communication. I feel like sometimes your guys' communication is an issue. Sometimes you guys don't communicate well, but you communicate really well in the astral plane. So it's like you hang out up there, but then when it comes to this dimension, I'm not seeing the best communication happening. I'm not seeing you guys just being fully on the same page with all your issues. It may be that there would be petty disagreements if you guys got together, or you guys just don't see eye to eye on a lot of issues. But on the astral plane, I feel like you guys definitely vibe and connect and have so much in common. So I feel like Spirit is saying that, with all these hardships and stuff, it just might be good for you guys to focus on yourselves a little bit, because it feels like there's a lot of obstacles to this relationship, and it feels like you guys are holding on very tightly with this Scorpio energy to this connection, and it might be time to like loosen those reins a little bit and accept that whatever Spirit brings to you is for your best and highest good. So if you aren't supposed to work out with this person, then that's okay. And if you are, then that's okay. And welcoming in and receiving that is so major key for like growth and ascension. It's just the best way to approach it is repeating to yourself, everything that happens to me is for my best and highest good. So, I have so many examples in my life of things that happened where at the time I was like so disappointed, and now I'm like, I'm so glad that happened. It benefited me so much. So that's kind of what's coming to mind. So will you guys end up together? I'm leaning towards no, but there's so much depth in this connection, and they're acknowledging that. But let's get some final cards for pile 3 and find out if they will end up with their person. Manifestation boundaries. Okay. So, with manifestation coming up, I feel like it's a reminder, and something you guys need to know, happiness reverse though, is that you can manifest whatever you want. So like when it comes to these card readings that are telling the future, if you're in a timeline you don't like, or if you're in an energy you don't like the timeline for, then you can switch up that energy real quick, and you can, switch it out and choose something different. So you can be like, you know, I don't like that, and we're going to head in this direction instead. So if you would like to manifest this person, I see the love is there. I see the emotion is there. The sexuality, the feeling is there. So there's a lot to work with here. It's kind of like clay. You know, you got a lot of clay to work with and you can build whatever you want out of this. But as it stands right now, I would lean towards no, you guys aren't going to end up together in this current energy that you're in right now. But if you guys are willing to both make compromises and growth and see the best in each other, I think you could make this happen. But again, with happiness reversed, until the thing is, you can work on yourself, but this person might be too stuck in their ways. They might be the kind of person that, like I said, likes to bicker, or you just don't see eye to eye. And like they like, you know, vanilla and you like chocolate, you know, and it's always going to be an argument about what kind of a cake to buy, you know, or they like rock music and you like pop music, and every time you're going to be arguing over the radio. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even have to be serious. It's just like small but fundamental things where it seems like you guys are in opposition. But if you are willing to make the compromises and they are too, you guys may end up together. Trust. I love that that's your final card, because that's what's coming through so strong from the universe. They want you to trust them. They want you guys to realize that all the growth that's happening is for your best healing, and you guys are going to benefit so much from this. So, you know, it's like, trust that whatever's happening is for your best and highest good, and you should feel so confident in yourself, because I think that's really a main thing that Spirit is trying to bring through, is your confidence, making you see yourself as the beautiful miracle you guys are, the beautiful gift you guys are, and that you are just this gorgeous blessing to this world. So there's no need for you to be saying sad in, you know, Nine of Swords energy, having sleepless nights and like being all depressed. You guys should be knowing that you are divine feminine for all my feminines, or divine masculine for my masculines, and knowing how special and beautiful, and making sure that this card is upright and you guys are in happy energy. So I'm leaning to, if you guys will end up together, I'm leaning towards no, but again, you can switch this timeline up if you guys would like to. It may be that this is the current energy, and later in the future, after all this growth happens and Saturn is done working its magic, which is not really the word, but let's call it that, let's be optimistic and call it magic, then, you know, you guys might be aligned to be together, and you guys might both be capable of having those tough discussions and having disagreements, but coming back together really calmly. But right now it's leaning towards no. So I hope that makes sense, pile 3. But there is a lot of love here, a lot of emotion, and I feel like, you know, switch up the timeline if you don't like the answer, because I can see that unlike some other piles, there's a lot here to work with. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of this attraction that you guys have, or you would have if you guys haven't met yet. You know, you will have attraction. I just worry about like the little disagreements and stuff, but you know what? Everything can be changed and worked on. So anyway, I hope it resonates, you guys. Let me know if it did in the comments. I'm very curious about this pile because it's such a specific situation. So let me know in the comments if it resonated, and give it a big thumbs up if it did. And also make sure to check out my Patreon if you want to see more of my readings. I post a lot of them over there. So definitely check that out, and make sure you're subscribed over here as well, and turn on those notifications if you want to see more of my videos here. So I am sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey pile 4, so if you guys picked this omelet sushi, this is going to be your reading. So they really went out of their way to get this texture on the omelet correct, and also on this tiny little seaweed band. It's super accurate and genuinely looks like the real thing. And on the other side, they got all the individual grains of sushi rice there as well. So it truly looks like a real piece of omelet sushi, like you could just take a bite and dive right in. So kudos to them on this. I just love how much detail there is. But let's get right into your cards, guys. So you guys got 6 of Cups, 7 of Swords reversed, the Moon, 3 of Pentacles reversed, Justice, 2 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, and 8 of Cups. So it feels like for you guys, it almost feels like there may be a stalemate or something here. Like, I feel like maybe you guys are supposed to learn something from this situation, but with the 7 of Swords reversed and the 3 of Pentacles reversed, maybe you're kind of not learning what you're supposed to, or maybe there's work that needs to be done on yourself or on your person before you guys can come together in union. Because with the 2 of Swords, you know, generally that shows a path that divides into on this card, which I love that symbol for the Two of Swords because it really could go either way. It's like a decision. And so I feel like there's stuff you're supposed to learn about this situation. There may even be stuff you don't know about this person. With the Moon and the Two of Swords, it could be that you're looking at them with rose-colored glasses, but also with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like there is this possibility for you guys growing, learning, making yourself, improve in certain areas, and then you guys coming together in union. There may be things with the Justice card that you're supposed to learn, or kind of karmic lessons, or just lessons in general that are going to make you grow and give you guys a lot of knowledge from this situation. With the Six of Cups, I can see that you guys do have these genuinely strong memories for this person, and they meant a lot for you. But I also feel like some of you guys, the self-work is going to be happening. And then at the end, you might be like, you know what? I did all this work and maybe I want something else, but I'm not getting a concrete no. And we'll go into some of the other cards we get. So yeah, we'll see what Spirit has to say. So we got the Divine Masculine, sexuality, and we got chivalry as well. So it does seem like you guys, may be able to reconcile and come together. Maybe this person is growing into their Divine Masculine, and when they approach, they're going to do it in a very chivalrous way and come correct and approach you in the way they should. Maybe, you guys do have this deep connection and a sexuality where you guys feel very connected to each other and you reminisce about each other with the Six of Cups. It feels like there is the potential for growth and for reunion. It feels like there could be an option for you guys to come back together, but it feels like that's up in the air and kind of dependent on your self-work. It doesn't feel like there's like a ton of dysfunction, like, oh my gosh, you guys need to fix this because it's a huge problem, but there's something that needs to fix or change. And it feels like almost sometimes you guys might not even have enough cooperation together with the Three of Pentacles reversed. Maybe sometimes you guys are just on different kind of wavelengths or something, or when you guys get together, it's like there's an argument or there's a disagreement, but I don't even know if it's that or if it's just self-growth that you guys both need to do. And it might not even be that you guys are going to be bickering or that you're not going to be getting along. It might just be like, I need this work to do. I'm on this journey myself. You know what I mean? I'm stepping into my Divine Masculine, or I'm stepping into my Divine Feminine. And maybe this person, and you are both supposed to be separate during the work process and then reunite, because I do feel like there's like love there and emotions there, but it feels like your person's working on themselves a lot, trying to grow a lot, and maybe you're supposed to do that as well. Maybe you're supposed to be on this self-growth journey where there's things that both of you guys are trying to get done and make happen, and you are in Eight of Pentacles energy, you are working towards something, you are growing on something. And so, yeah, for right now, it feels like the energy is a no, but in the future, it could be very well be a yes, because I feel like you guys are headed in that direction. And what's really interesting is this card flew out right after these cards, and I wasn't pulling from this deck, so it's really crazy that that somehow got stuck in there, which like hardly ever happens. And so I was like, okay, I got to improve it, because what's coming to mind with leadership is maybe there needs to be one person who like steps forward, because I almost feel like for some of you guys, maybe you did have a disagreement, or just you guys haven't had, like, both of you guys like each other, but no one stepped forward to be like, okay, let's make this happen. You know what I mean? No one stepped forward to be like, okay, by the way, I really like you, and put themselves on the line. And I feel like maybe that's something that needs to happen in order for this connection to really coalesce and come together. And so it may be that, one person is being primed, especially usually that would be the Divine Masculine. And we do have the Divine Masculine and then chivalry, which is a very Divine Masculine kind of behavior. So it may be that the masculine is kind of not aware of how to approach, and that's something that he's learning in his journey. And then of course she's learning her own lessons in her journey. But it generally is the role of the Divine Masculine to be the one to like ask, the person out and put themselves on the line in that way. So maybe that's something the masculine is in the process of learning. And maybe this is why you guys are in separation. And maybe that's why it hasn't happened yet, is like, they don't know that yet. They haven't mastered that. They don't have the confidence or whatever. They just don't have that masculine power to step forward in Mars energy and pursue what they want. And so maybe they are learning how to be a leader and learning how to step forward and learning how to like take the bull by the horns and just go for it. Two of Swords can talk about that. It can talk about when you know you're being pulled in a direction, but you're still like, I don't know what's going on. And, you know, usually they're in the Two of Swords, you know, there's a woman wearing a blindfold. And so it's like, you're not, even though you kind of know where you're supposed to head, there's a part of you that kind of refuses to make that decision. There's a part of you that's like, I don't see what's going on. I'm pretending, like, you know, it's kind of like, I can't see you. If I pretend you don't exist, you're not here. So I feel like there may be this person who, you know, they know what they're supposed to do. They know what steps they're supposed to take, but they're too scared. They're afraid of being rejected. They're afraid of someone saying no. And so they're just not taking any action. They're just holding themselves back. And I feel like that may be something that Spirit is really trying to kick them out of and make them step forward. Like, no, you can't just waste someone's time. If you're not going to step forward, then it's not going to happen for you. And so it stinks whenever you're on the receiving end of someone else having to learn that journey, right? You're like, well, what am I supposed to do in the meantime? And, you know, there is a message of kind of like patience, and there is a message of, you know, this is something where when someone's on a self-growth journey, it can go either way. Maybe they learn the lessons and they lean into it happily and eagerly, but with the Three of Pentacles reversed, they could also be very resistant. Like, no, I'm not going to learn, because this is really a card of learning, and you can see it's reversed, you know? And so I feel like maybe, you know, it's up in the air. It's a general reading. So for some of you guys, maybe your person is going to lean into this and be like, I embrace this and I'm ready to learn and I'm ready to step forward. And for some of you guys, maybe they are just like, I can't do this. You know, I'm just going to find someone who's a lot easier. But I don't know. So we got Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation, Woodwives, adaptability, First Breath, beginner's mind, Feast of Plenty, choices of their consequences, and Dream Thief, refusal of the call, that's reversed, and Whale Song resonating. So you guys very well may have a connection on the astral plane with Whale Song resonating. It feels like you guys feel each other's energy and spirit and feel, you know, this connection on the astral plane. You guys are connected up there. I feel like with the Dust Devil moving out of stagnation, like there could be a moment when this connection may seem stagnant and then it pushes forward and breaks through into something really beautiful. And there's a breakthrough moment of like, wow, things come together and coalesce, you know what I mean? And it's almost like someone needs to step forward and to do that, because this energy right now, I'll be honest, it's kind of stagnant. It feels like it's probably a no. It feels like it's probably not going to come together. But I feel that if someone was to step forward, probably the masculine in this situation, things could really work out. You know, it's like someone needs to be brave and just put themselves out there and face, you know, that's the thing about the Two of Swords, is you can be like, I don't want to, because either route you go, like if you go down one path, you can't switch and go to the other. And like, there's this stuff on that side and then there's this stuff on that side. And so a lot of times we get torn between decisions because we just don't want to make a choice, right? We just don't want to like limit ourselves. We just don't want to like lock ourselves into something and we feel trapped within that. And so it's like, we don't want to face the consequences. We don't want to make that choice and then face whatever it entails. And it's like this person might be avoiding responsibility by stepping towards you. And I feel like for some of you guys, you know, with Dream Thief, refusal of the call, yeah, it could be that they feel called to like step towards you, but then they're just like, no, I can't, and they're chickening out. And maybe they're growing. You know, with Woodwives, adaptability, it could be that they're learning and they're going to adapt and they're going to change and they're going to grow. So this current energy might not be their energy forever. You know, with First Breath, beginner's mind, it could be that Spirit is trying to kind of give them back the kind of energy, vitality, bravery that a little kid has. You know how little kids will just like rush into any situations? You almost have to tell them like, no, don't put your hand on the stove, or no, don't, you know, jump into that pool if you don't know how to swim, or no, don't, you know, run into those bushes full of thorns. Like, because little kids are just so brave. They just go for it. And then as we grow up and we experience pain and we learn what things to avoid, we can become way more cautious because of it. And maybe this is something that both of your guys guides are trying to teach you guys is how to be brave, how to rush into situations and not be second guessing yourself and not be letting your confidence bring you down. Stepping into the divine masculine is all about that. It's all about coming into a place where you are bold, because Mars energy is bold, it's open, it leans into things without fear. It's brave. And it's like, I feel that maybe this person lost that somewhere along the way, or maybe you're the divine masculine in this situation, or maybe you're a divine feminine, but you're very much in fear energy. But either way, I feel like it's like we're coming into bravery. We're learning to stand up for ourselves and learning to step forward to what we want, and learning that we don't need to hold ourselves back. I'm just feeling this really intense pain in my right ear. So I don't know if that means anything to some of you guys. Maybe this relationship or something they said was painful to you or something and really hurt you. Or maybe there have been other things that people have said to you that's hurt you. Like maybe, someone said something to you along the way, like, oh, you're not that pretty, or you're not that handsome, or you're a loser, or something. Maybe someone you were interested in or had a romantic relationship with was really cruel to you or said really nasty stuff. But either way, I feel like it's like spirit wants to return you back to the original. Kind of like, when you like reset your phone or something, like if your phone's acting really slow or acting crazy or doing something bad, sometimes they'll tell you restore it to factory settings. And that means you swipe up all the information and suddenly it's basically brand new, even though it may have been aged. Technically it has whatever chronology of years on it, but it's going to act like a brand new phone. It's going to probably be really fast, really quick. It's not going to have any apps clogging it up or slowing down, the memory or whatever. It's going to be fast. And that's kind of like what spirit might be doing, is making you guys back to your original self that was so bold and brave before some of the hurt and trauma came in, and making this person willing to step towards you because they may have been rejected by other people in the past. So they have such a deep fear of rejection that they can't open up. They can't ask you out. They can't be like, so what are you doing on Friday? Even if that seems like a small thing, there's so much fear clouding their mind and their judgment. And so it's like spirit's trying to swipe that slate clean and make you guys just fresh and brand new and clean. So yeah. So let's get more cards. So we got death, relationships, denial, honesty, and gratitude. So yeah, with the death card, that is always a card of endings and things ending in your life that need to end, that need to be taken out, need to be destroyed, basically, need to be ruined, is what I keep hearing in my head. Like maybe you have maladaptive coping mechanisms. Maybe you learned somewhere along the way that like things don't work out, or like people reject me, people aren't interested in me, or something like that. Or I can't be honest in relationships. I have to be a little bit duplicitous, because we did get the 7 of Swords as well. And so maybe somewhere along the way, you just had this idea that relationships meant pain and hardship or rejection or lies or whatever. And now it's like spirit, like I said, it's like resetting to factory settings. It's taking you back into a place of gratitude and happiness in your relationships and joy, and expecting the best and knowing you guys deserve the best. So will you guys end up together? I feel like there's work to be done. And so it's not made up yet. For right now, current energy, no. In the future, it could be yes, because I sense there's a lot of work going on. I sense you guys have both been taking from this situation and learning what you can fix and learning what you can change, and wanting to unite in union with the other. If this is just a crush, it feels like they maybe are aware of you on the astral plane. So sometimes even people we haven't met in this world or this dimension, we know them on the astral plane. And so I feel that you guys are working hard on coming together. And if you guys do end up together, it seems like both of you guys have gone through this dark night of the soul and really worked hard. And it's just a beautiful energy. Like it's like a great vibe, once you guys have pushed past this and gone through your death season and gone through, that dark night of the soul, and you're in Phoenix energy and you're rising from the ashes, it just feels like you guys are much more capable of having a functional relationship where you guys talk things through, work things out, and everything is a really much better vibe. And there's a lot more honesty, because it feels like both of you guys feel the need to kind of cloak things or not be honest right now. It feels like both of you guys are not wanting to tell fully the truth about yourself. Maybe you have insecurities or hidden secrets or stuff that happened that you're just embarrassed about or something. And it's like by the time you come into union with this person, you'd be a lot more equipped of just like, this is me. Yeah, this is me. And I'm proud of myself. And like all the things I had to learn was a blessing, and every rejection was God's protection. And you just feel a lot more yourself. You know, you feel like you're in a much higher vibrational place, coming from a place of gratitude and peace, and it's just very joyful. So we can see that by the time you guys come together, both of you guys have worked through so much, and it's just like, you know, when you see a couple that just seems really mature, and I feel like it's like there's a lot of compromise in the relationship, there's a lot of understanding, there's not a lot of secrets, and they just seem mature. Like sometimes it might be an older couple, or like a couple that got together in their 30s or 40s, and both of them lived separate lives and had other relationships, but they just seem like they really consciously chose each other, and like they really know how to handle disagreements and stuff. That's the vibe I'm getting for like if you guys were to come into union. So let's get more cards. So we got rock bottom, dry desert, compass, spirit of place, and heal the ouch and storm field. So you guys are currently in this energy, healing the ouch, and also maybe a little bit of dry desert and rock bottom. So you are heading with your compass towards a better place, I think, and towards a better relationship. And, you know, this yearning for this person that you might have, you know, maybe even for some of you guys, you might have never met this person, or they might be like, I don't know, a public figure or a crush or something you guys have that you never actually talked to. But know that they're pointing you in the right direction. You know, they are something about their energy, maybe pointing you to areas you have to grow in, and maybe pointing you to things that you can improve about yourself. If this is like a crush, it's like, what about them is drawing you in so much? You know, if it's because they're very charismatic, is there a way you could bring in that energy into your own life? And maybe you are capable of just as much charisma as them, but for some reason, somewhere along the way, you started thinking of yourself as like, oh, I'm not charismatic. Yeah, I'm not a good talker. I'm just too shy, or like, no one really likes me that much. And it's like, really, is that the case? Or is that something you just started telling yourself for whatever reason? Or maybe something someone else told you about yourself. But it's like, it's very important for you to work through some of these thoughts and beliefs that are holding yourself back, so you're capable of joining your person in union. Because it feels like if you guys are going to be aligned, you're going to have done on both sides a lot of self-work. And maybe if your person is more aligned with that energy already, then you've got to like play catch up, and you've got to get yourself higher vibrational so that you're meeting them up there. Because it feels like your person has gone through traumas themselves, and whether they are on the timeline of still being at rock bottom and dry desert, or already having fast forwarded to, you know, more of an ascension, high vibrational energy, either way, you guys have both been through trauma. So look at this as an encouragement, as like, okay, if they can get through that, I can get through it too. But again, it's a general reading. Some of you guys on the timeline, you're both in this rock bottom energy, and you're both at the beginning of the growth period, and you're both, or maybe in the middle, but it's like, you're headed in that direction. And I feel like you guys will have maybe the opportunity for some of you to come together once you reach this healing energy, once you guys have worked through these issues and healed this out. And again, if you guys got together now, it feels like you guys would be arguing or bickering. It just wouldn't be as pleasant as you might have it out to be in your mind. I feel like, you know, you might get together with them and then be like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I can't believe I ever wanted this. So don't feel like, I can't believe it's not happening right now. Know that if you guys are separated right now, like there is such a thing as divine timing, and God times things so that when things come together, it's the right season for us. It's not the wrong season. It's kind of like if you were to plant things in, I don't know, see, I always mess this up because I'm not like a planter type person. I'm not a gardener or a farmer or anything, but I know you, like, I don't think you plant things in winter, or maybe you do. But I know there's a certain time of year when you're supposed to plant things, and you're not supposed to plant them at the wrong time, like fall. I know you don't plant things in the fall because that's harvest season. So You wouldn't go and plant a bunch of flowers in the middle of fall, because if they bloom in a couple months, they're going to be dead, because they're going to bloom in the middle of winter if they bloom at all, right? You have to time things and plant them, I don't know, in like late winter, maybe heading into spring, so that they bloom in like spring, summer, right? I know that. I think that's right. If you're a gardener, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but that's what I like understand of gardening. And so it's like, imagine if you went out in the middle of fall, right before the first big frost, and you planted a bunch of like tulips. You know what I mean? I think tulips, they seem like a spring flower to me. So I don't know. That's what's coming to mind. But maybe it's like marigolds or something else. I don't know. But some kind of a flower that grows in warm weather. If you planted it right in the middle of fall, that would not work out for you. That would not bloom in the way you want. And it's like, you guys are kind of in your winter era. You're in a desert right now. Or if you planted it, perfect example, in the desert. If you planted a bunch of tulips in the desert, they would not bloom. I know that for sure. You would have to wait until you would have to move on from the desert and go to a greener place with some more rainfall, with, you know, a better balance between the sun and the cloudy days, and more wetness and moisture around. So it's like, know that like right now it's not fertile ground, but after you guys do the work, it feels like you're in a better place and things are a lot happier. Like you can see that looks like very fertile and green. Like it looks like that would be a great place to plant whatever kind of leaves, even though it does kind of look like fall, speaking of my metaphor. But yeah, like I feel like you guys are going to go to a place where there's a lot more kind of rain and moisture, and you did get storm fields. So this metaphor is really coming through in the cards. So let's get more cards for pile 4. So are they going to be united with their person in union? Are they ever going to be in a relationship with their person, Spirit? There's just so much healing energy happening. So we got Skull of Light, illumination. So I feel like this relationship was supposed to illuminate a lot of things in your life and make you grow really deeply. Okay, this just fell out. Fortune meets opportunity. Let's get more cards though for pile 4. So this is an opportunity for you guys to grow. That's what you should know. You shouldn't feel bad about it or be like down in the dumps that this is happening. And you got the lamp, remembrance. So I feel like you guys may be looking back and really reflecting on memories with this person. Hearth, happiness in our hearts and homes. It feels like you have some really precious memories of them somehow. Maybe you think back to these memories when you need to feel good. And then vampire, emotional intelligence. That is so accurate for what you guys are doing. You guys are both growing in your emotional intelligence. You guys are just becoming a lot more illuminated and a lot more intelligent about what to do in a relationship, how to work through your traumas. We all have things we have to improve. We all have issues that we have to work through. And I feel like you guys are both doing the work right now. And this is a growth opportunity. Don't think of it as a bad thing or as like, oh, I can't believe I have to go through this. Think of it as a growth period. I look back at the periods when I grew the most and I'm like so grateful for them. Even though it was painful at the time, even though I didn't want to go through it and I just wanted to fast forward to like the happy part, I'm so grateful. You grow the most in the hardship. You know, you grow the most when things are rough. That's why diamonds are made from coals being compacted under thousands of pounds of pressure under the earth, because that's what turns into a diamond. Like a piece of coal that's kind of like pretty ugly, right? And then it turns into one of the most expensive, beautiful things on earth, a precious, perfect looking diamond. And that's because that's what pressure does to us, as much as that may seem unpleasant at the time. So it's like, take this as an opportunity to grow. And then I feel like, yeah, you guys could come together and you might be very happy together. It might be that when you guys have done this work, again, it feels like a very stable relationship. I was getting the image of like a couple pushing, you know, a baby stroller together or a baby pram together, where they're just very balanced. Like they're very calm with each other. They're very sweet to each other. And that card is bringing that to mind as well. Like just a couple that kind of hangs out, has good conversation, is very calm with each other, very loving, very sweet. Like maybe just wants to cook. They're not like some wild couple having nights out on the town and partying it up. It feels like they just enjoy spending time with each other. And there's a lot of maturity here. So let me get some astro dice for you guys to figure out the astrology signs at play in this connection. So we got Capricorn, we got Uranus, and we got the second house. So Capricorn makes a lot of sense. It's ruled by Saturn, which is the planet of hard lessons and determination and difficulty. So if you guys want to commit to this relationship, you know, that's the thing about Capricorn is when they commit, they really commit. They're not afraid of hard work. So I feel like if you guys put in the hard work for this, you could end up in this second house energy, which is Taurus, and it is related to Venus, aka love. So second house is definitely somewhere you look to see love as well as a financial abundance, and kind of that payoff of the hard work energy is like second house, like the luxury, the beautiful love, Taurus energy of being all loved up with someone and connected to them and having the good things in life. And Uranus is really a planet of kind of unusual, sudden, crazy events. You know, it's related to Aquarius, so it's the unexpected. It's things that come out of the blue. So this may not be what you guys expected from this reading, or maybe you never expected to grow so much from this relationship, but it feels like it's a growth opportunity. And it feels like your guides are really taking the lead on this and using this relationship to bring in so many beautiful changes. And maybe you guys will reunite at a time when you least expect it. Like when you're finally like, okay, I'm never going to see them again, whatever. That's when they finally come in. So let's get some more cards for pile 4 and find out final cards. Grieving, okay. And let's find out final cards for whether they are going to end up together. So we got finding truth. We got good luck. That fell on the floor, so I'll try to pick it up in a minute. Blessings, psychic abilities. So yeah, there's so many great inspiration. Oh, I love it. So a lot of positive cards to end this reading with. And let me try to grab this good luck card. Okay, so yeah, I feel like you guys do have a lot of benefits coming from this connection, a lot of growth that really pays off, even though it's a hard time when you're grieving. You're going to find a lot of truth from this connection and blessings from this connection. So could you guys end up together? Definitely. I see that you guys are connected on the astral plane. It just seems like there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And then you guys may reunite later. So it seems like there's distance for right now, and then maybe there's a reunion moment and you guys find your way back to each other and you guys end up, yeah, finding each other, you know, and coming back and reuniting. So don't be afraid of this time off. Embrace it and know that whatever happens, whether you guys are supposed to end up together or separate, this is a blessing. This connection was brought into your life as a blessing to teach you guys, to help you learn, to help you grow, and to help you see yourself. Because I feel like there's a lot of growth here about relationships and being like less reactionary, being very like honest in a respectful way with each other, and working through issues and being patient and all those things that we kind of need to develop to have a high vibrational relationship. So I feel like your person's working on a lot and you might be working on your own leveling up, and either way, embrace this time. And for you, it's kind of a yes, no, like not sure answer. I feel like it's a current no, could be yes in the future. So yeah, definitely it's up to you guys with that 2 of Swords. But I could see a definite opportunity for a reunion for you guys. So I really hope it resonated, you guys. Let me know if it did in the comments. I'm very curious about this pile. And also make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys want to check out my Patreon, make sure to click the link in my bio. I post extra readings over there. And if you guys want to see more readings over here, make sure to subscribe. I am sending you guys so much love and light. I hope it resonated, and I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves. Bye.